Communication Error.
Welcome to episode 39 of Communication Error, a gaming debate podcast where we may not always agree, but if we listen to what one another has to say, maybe we'll be able to fix our communication error. I'm one of your hosts, Cheesy, and the man who wants you to know he bought a Steam Deck, Johnny Bo.
I did buy a Steam Deck. It's not here yet.
You finally did it.
I did. I finally did it. And I'm excited. And it actually lends into the conversation we're going to have today. So I'm pretty excited to talk about that.
Yeah, it was that, without saying the reason, was that the reason that you bought a Steam Deck?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of figured it was.
But yeah, no, we'll talk about it. But yeah, I got the Steam Deck OLED. I didn't get the original Steam Deck, and I think it's supposed to be here this week. So hopefully it comes in soon. So I tried to see if I could buy it like in store. There's like no stores that sell it.
Yeah, I don't know what stores would, like Best Buy maybe.
Like Best Buy, yeah. I thought Best Buy sold it. Yeah, I mean even anywhere that has the video game consoles, I would think. Why not sell the hardware like Target or Walmart or GameStop? Actually, I think GameStop did have it, but it didn't have the OLED. So I don't know what that's about. But
yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe that's like Steam just wanting it to be shop only because it seems more exclusive, or not exclusive, but seems more of a rarity, I guess.
Maybe they don't produce that many, that they don't want to just like have it sitting on store shelves.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Anyway, I think I'm really excited for tonight's topic that we should just get into it. But before we do, let's do some server maintenance.
Yeah, let's do some server maintenance because we actually have like updates and reviews. So first thing first, before I forget, we changed the release day of the podcast on YouTube and the audio platforms. So it wasn't a day late last week. It was just we are releasing them on Wednesdays now as opposed to Tuesdays. But if you do want to hear it on Tuesday, check out the Patreon. There's a tier where you get early access. So you get a day early access. You get to hear our voices a day before everybody else.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but you can let us know.
Jeff Troyvania in the Discord thought that it was going to be live today because today's Monday. But no, it's live on Tuesdays for early access.
Yeah, because we record on Mondays, a little inside baseball, I guess. Why is it inside baseball? Is it out? Shouldn't it be like outside? Like if you're inside, that's like you're on the field.
I don't know. Who knows?
Anyway. We record on Mondays, so if you got early access, that would mean that you would get it on Sunday, which is just not what we're doing. So you will get it on Tuesday for early access. Everybody will get it Wednesday. You get it. I'm repeating myself now.
Yeah. I think we should make an upload date different for every platform. Like Tuesdays early access for Patreon, Wednesdays YouTube, Thursdays Spotify, Fridays Apple. Like just change it up every day.
Yeah. I mean, I know that you like to stay busy, so.
Well, I don't know how I would be able to do it audio platforms because they all go out at the same time. But I could do YouTube and audio different. No, we're not doing that. All right, so this is getting off the rails. But don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are actually 7 subscribers away from 200 subscribers. So thank you for subscribing. And you could also see us on YouTube. There's a video of the episode.
Yeah, in shorts that some people like and most dislike.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm just gonna. I'm just gonna own it. I say things that people don't agree with, and they let me know this week.
Yeah, and I think that kind of leads into our first review from. I believe this is No Less Guy. Says. It's a 5-star review. Says Cheesy and Johnny are the best when an episode comes to oh my gosh, hold on. Cheesy and Johnny are their best when an episode comes at a crossroad with this versus that topic. The personality clashes are highly amusing, with Cheesy being the level-headed wise man and Johnny being a troll under the bridge. Instead of riddles, he's just insulting those that pass. One thing that I think might benefit the show, if the hosts have a clue on what the next topic would be on their patch notes episode. It would be good to share at the end. This would allow the community to ask questions for the hosts to answer prior to the main episode, or they can help Johnny with some notes and save him a Google search. Well, I think that pretty much sums up exactly the roles that we play.
A little bit more inside baseball. We don't know the topic that early.
Yeah, we literally decided the topic today for today's episode, but I guess we could do a better job of that and give people a heads up.
We'll do it live. We'll do it live.
We'll see. We'll see. You want to read the next one?
Yeah, so the next one is another 5-star from LM.
Real quick, thank you, No Less Guy, for that review.
Okay. This one's another 5-star from LM081511. Don't know who that is. That's just a bunch of numbers. But it says, amazing podcast, 5 stars. You guys are amazing and deliver every week. Keep up the amazing work. And by the way, Super Mario Bros. 3 is better than World. I swear this was not me.
It kind of sounds like it might be you. You're the only one that likes Super Mario Bros. 3 more than World. But we appreciate
a lot of our listeners have confirmed that Super Mario Bros. 3 is better than World. Just our guests have not.
It could be because I've picked all the guests. Maybe I'm picking the ones I think will say Super Mario Bros. World, even when I don't think they will. So thank you for that review. And then the last one that we got was Magnificent EZG. Great job, 5 stars. I usually listen for the witty repartee.
Repartee, yeah. There you go.
You get it. But I feel like I actually learned something after listening to the last episode with the community patch notes discussing the state of AAA gaming.
Thanks, Eric, because you definitely didn't learn anything from us.
Yeah, Eric is a very smart guy, very insightful. But I do like that people feel like they get something out of our podcast, because I know when it's just you and I, like today, I've messed up so many times already that I can't believe people listen to this. But then they find something out of it, and we're educating them. Two bozos like us, not bozo that's in the Discord, but us.
Yeah, I'm glad it took 37 episodes to actually learn something.
But anyway, thank you for all those reviews. Remember to leave reviews. Tell your friends, your family, your dog, everybody to listen to the podcast. Give it 5 stars. We'll read it on the show. That's pretty much it. Find us on Calm Error Podcast on all the socials, so you can be part of community patch note episodes. Johnny, what are we talking about today?
Well, also join the Discord. Forgot that.
You can join the Discord too if you like. Yeah, we're not telling you what to do, but you should.
We are okay. Man, I don't know. I'm out of it today.
I'm a little out of it too, but that could be fun. Let's see where it takes us.
So today's episode is about console gaming versus handheld gaming.
Mm-hmm.
And the first question I have for the listeners is, which do you prefer, console or handheld gaming? And I guess that's the first question that I have for you as well.
For me?
Yeah.
I think that I prefer console. Like, I love sitting down with a controller in my hand and playing off of a TV screen than like a handheld screen. However, I think that I grew up with a handheld. Like, my first probably system was a Game Boy Pocket, and I got Pokemon Red because that was included. But even before that, my aunt had a Game Boy, and anytime I went over to my grandma's house, I would just go into the closet, and my aunt had her Game Boy. That's where it was. and she would let me play it. And yeah, so I don't know. Like I feel very connected to a handheld, but I prefer playing console. What about you?
So when I was growing up, I also played a lot of Game Boy Advance, DS. But I always preferred playing on the console. I always preferred playing my Super Nintendo or my GameCube, or like Xbox. But now times have changed, and I'm back
Hmm.
into handheld. I think I'm much more of a handheld gamer than I am console. I just can't. I don't want to sit in front of a TV. I don't want to sit in front of a monitor to play games because I'm sitting in front of a monitor all day at work. I don't want to do it playing games.
Okay.
Um,
Well, what's the difference between you like sitting and playing handheld and like staring at that screen versus sitting down and staring at a TV screen?
I don't know, it's just more comfortable. And like this, so where I play my games, like even Nintendo Switch or PlayStation or Xbox, I'm playing at my content creation station, like my computer, where my computer is.
Yeah.
There, the Switch is hooked up to a monitor, and everything's hooked up to a monitor because I could record gameplay and everything like that. So I'm essentially
Yeah.
sitting at my computer, like I'm sitting here. This is where I would play my game, and it's just not comfortable. I don't know. It's just not like sitting in this gaming chair is not comfortable for hours at a time. I'd rather just sit on like a recliner chair with with either the Switch or whatever else I'm playing with
Hmm.
TV on in the background.
See, I can't do that. I don't know how people do that. Like if I'm watching a show
These
or
stories
watching a
don't matter.
movie. No, but I mean, like, I like to listen to music, and sometimes you have to listen to certain cues that are in gaming. I mean, or at least helps the
Yeah, but
experience of it.
I'm not watching a movie and playing a game at the same time. It's mostly I'm watching like a football game or watching sports on in the background, like something that you don't really have to be involved in all the time. Like if it's like a brand new movie, like I'm not gonna play a game while I'm watching a movie I've never seen before.
Okay. I guess for me, like, I want to escape into that world. So I don't want any other like distractions. Obviously, I'm not like fully immersed in the game, right? Like I'm not putting myself into the game. There's other stuff that's happening around me, but I like to just have that connection with the game. And I don't want to have like a TV on and playing the game at the same time. Like that's just me. I get that there's a lot of people out there and that's like why handheld gaming is so big because you can do multiple things at once, but I just like to focus on one thing at a time.
Well, I see
And
it
maybe
as
that says more about me than it does just like my gaming habits.
and I can't really say I'm playing a game on on the TV or on a monitor. I'm not. I probably have music on in the background. Like it's not like I'm just playing the game. Like I have to have something else with it.
Hmm.
It's a lot of the. I don't know. This is gonna make people angry, but like a lot of the game music, I don't want to. I don't want to listen to.
Johnny, there's a reason why there is music.
Yeah, but I don't care.
I know you don't.
It's all about gameplay.
What do
Video
you
games
care
are all about gameplay. That's all it is. Gameplay. Gameplay. It doesn't I don't care about story. I don't care about music. It's just gameplay. If it feels good to play and I'm enjoying playing it, that's all I care about.
Ugh. I mean, to each their own, I guess. Like I don't know. I disagree with you, but that's me.
Like what Tears of the Kingdom is a perfect example because
Uh,
there's like no noise in that game. Like there's very subtle music, but it's relatively quiet.
but it's good music.
But
When
I
you
don't
do
know.
get good,
I don't want to just listen to like silence or close to silence.
but are you telling me that anytime you got into a boss battle, you you don't know what that music is?
So, I mean, a lot of it sounds the same. It doesn't leave a lasting impression. It's not like I listen to the Ganondorf boss battle music. I know people do it. I know people love listening to soundtracks of music, of game music. I've tried that. I just can't. I need words. I need words.
Because like you need lyrics.
Like lyrics.
That's what you're saying?
I need lyrics.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I can't just listen to.
I was gonna say you don't want words because you don't even read them.
But no, I need lyrics, like in music. I can't listen to like white noise.
So if you went to Symphony of the Goddess, which was the Legend of Zelda concert,
I mean that's different, right? That's different. That's a performance.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. A symphony is different than
performing for
but
you.
You also have like a visual. Don't they have like a big screen with like a visual representation of what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean a performance. Yes, I would love to go.
Hold up. No. Wait, you're saying that you would go to the concert and watch the screen, but also listen to the music at the same time.
Yeah.
Isn't that exactly what you would be doing if
but
you
it's
were
not
playing
as
the game?
no, it's not as epic. Like an orchestra. Like think about when the Game Awards, when you see the Game Awards, the last part of the Game Awards where they have the orchestra and then they have, you know, the gameplay in the background. Like that's the orchestra is the performance. It's not like I know they're playing music and everything, but it's watching the orchestra do what they do along with the music. That like I could do that, but I can't just listen to the Tears of the Kingdom main theme.
Ugh. I know I talk about Hades a lot on this show, but I will listen to that soundtrack because that music is so good. And for you, I know that one time you said that you play Taylor Swift over Hades, but like it just kills me. Not because like it's not like I don't like Taylor Swift or anything.
Whenever I play Hades, all I hear is the attack noises. That's all I hear.
You don't hear the epic music? I don't
hear the music. No. I hear the attack noises and then song I'm listening to. But we're not talking about video game music. We're talking about...
I feel like this has to be its own topic at some point. This is pissing me off.
Yeah, okay, we're talking... I mean, that's another reason why I play handheld, because I don't really need to hear the music. Mm-hmm. Like, I just play it, not have the music on, and then have something on in the background. But...
So... The reason why you got a Steam Deck, let's get into that.
Yeah. So the reason why I got a Steam Deck, because I've been wanting a Steam Deck for a long time. I've been trying to push it off until the Switch 2 comes out, but like who knows if that's ever going to come out. And
you are, oh God, there's something about you tonight that is, you are on my nerves. You are always saying the Switch 2 is like next week. They're going to announce it next week.
Well, I don't know. All right. So Switch 2 is being announced in a week and a half, but
oh my God.
Okay.
Listeners,
Sorry.
Help me.
Back on topic. So, Pal World came out this past week, which for people that don't know, it's Pokemon with guns essentially, but it plays nothing like Pokemon. That's a whole other topic. We could talk about AI and plagiarism, but I played Pal World. I got it. I have Game Pass, so I was playing it on Xbox for like 4 or 5 hours. I'm like, oh, this is really fun. This would be a really good game to have in handheld. But Xbox, they have cloud gaming, but they don't really have like it's not great. I don't like remote play. It doesn't work right. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I heard it works on Steam Deck, so I'm going to check out Steam Deck. I tweeted, like, I was thinking about getting a Steam Deck, and then Kelsey came home, and she's like, I saw your tweet, so when are you getting the Steam Deck? She's like, whenever you get something into your mind, like, it's over. Like, you're just
gonna... Yeah, I think we all know that. We're not in a relationship with you, but I think anytime Johnny is, like, questioning something, that just means that you're going to do whatever it is that it's basically a rhetorical question. Should I
Yeah.
get the Steam
Yeah,
Deck? And then yeah,
exactly.
you got it.
But I mean, now that we're kind of blurring the lines of console power being in a handheld,
Yeah.
like Switch, it's not as powerful as PS5 or even PS4, but it is the closest thing that we have to like a dedicated, well, besides the Steam Deck, it's the closest thing that we have to a dedicated handheld that has console power. I mean, you could play some of these AAA games like on a Switch. You can play Doom, you can play Mortal Kombat. I mean, they're not the best, but you're getting a console experience, and I really wanted more of that kind of experience. I really want to play Elden Ring in handheld mode, and I don't really have the ability to do that. I really don't, like all these AAA, like a bunch of these AAA games that we talked about last week. Like I would love to play them in handheld mode, so that's why I got a Steam Deck. And I picked I could tell I was going down this route because I picked up this monstrosity, the PlayStation Portal, and that was the only way that I could play Spider-Man 2. Like I couldn't play it just on console. I needed to play it on the Portal.
Well, I mean, you could. What was stopping you from playing it on the console?
I don't know. I just didn't feel like playing it. I just didn't feel like. I don't know. I just like playing things in handheld mode. I like playing things in handheld mode more.
I get that, but the way that you say it is like I couldn't play it on console because it's just you can't. Like they won't let you.
I mean, I have an Xbox. I have a PlayStation. Mm-hmm. I don't play them very much. I play my Nintendo Switch, and I play the Switch a lot in the handheld mode. Like Prince of Persia just came out.
Yeah,
great game. I don't know about you, but I prefer playing that in handheld mode.
I don't know, man. I love the Pro Controller. Like, I feel bad because I have picked up so many Joy-Con over the year to like customize my Switch as much as possible because that's the only way that you can really customize your own Switch is just changing out the different colors. But I play with the Pro Controller probably 100% of the time, like, or let's say 90% of the time. I was flying back from Houston the other day, and I was playing Hades on the plane with the Pro Controller. And with the OLED, that kickstand is so nice. So,
yeah,
I don't know. Like, I'm glad that the Switch is able to do that, go in like tabletop mode, because in a way, I guess it's like playing more of a console than a handheld. Yeah. I guess there's like two ways to play the Switch being a console. Is like being docked and then tabletop mode, and then there's just handheld where the Joy-Con are attached.
I don't know if I would call tabletop mode playing it console because it doesn't have the power of the dock.
True. Would you call it handheld though? Because you're not actually holding it.
I would lean towards that though. I mean, who the heck plays it in tabletop mode?
When you're on a plane, I don't know.
You play it in handheld mode like a normal person.
Nah. No, because then I'm not playing with the Pro Controller.
No, I don't.
Anyway, like, so you got the Steam Deck. Do you really think that you're going to play it that much, or are you going to play it a couple of times and then it's going to collect dust?
I want to say the former, but it's definitely going to be the latter. I mean, it all depends on how this year shakes out, how Nintendo's year actually shakes out. Because if I get the Steam Deck and then we don't get a big Nintendo game until late in the year, then I'll probably focus more on playing the Steam Deck, playing games on there, as opposed to on the Switch. Because I mean, there's a bunch of like games that I want to play that I think would work better on the Steam Deck than if I wanted to try to play them on like the PlayStation or Xbox.
Like what?
Well, I'm gonna try out Cyberpunk 2077. I have that on PlayStation, but I haven't played it yet. Apparently, that works really well on the Steam Deck. Maybe even Red Dead Redemption 2. Elden Ring, I'll get back into that on the Steam Deck. Yeah, I don't have many games on Steam. I know there are a ton of games on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to check those out.
I can just hear some of our listeners just saying, why would you play some of those games in handheld? Like, I think it's cool that we have the option today. That's amazing. The fact that like we were able to play something like Breath of the Wild in handheld and also like console, just to have the option of either was awesome. But something like Elden Ring and Red Dead Redemption 2, the games that you were naming, you don't want to see them up on the big screen. I had this
No.
conversation with Hannah earlier because I was telling her what our topic was going to be for tonight, and she's like, "Well, it really depends. Like, if I'm playing Animal Crossing, then I prefer it in handheld. But if I'm playing something like Tears of the Kingdom, I want to see it up on the TV screen."
I mean, I played Elden Ring on my PlayStation 5. I played all the way through it.
Mm-hmm.
It is a beautiful game. I agree. But like I said, my screen is my monitor, so it's not huge. It's 24 inches.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a huge 4K TV,
Mm-hmm.
which I actually. So full disclosure, I bought a second PlayStation 5.
When?
Like, I don't know. Well, whenever I updated this room, so like a year and a half ago.
Okay.
So I got a second one because I have a 4K TV right next to me.
Okay.
And I wanted to see, because when I play PlayStation games on my monitor, it doesn't upscale to 4K because it's running through a capture card and it's not 4K.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I wanted to see it in 4K. I touched that thing twice.
Did you see a difference or no?
Not really. I mean, the screen was bigger.
Right.
I mean, the games look great on them. Like I played God of War, I played Last of Us Part 1 on it. They look great. But I would much prefer to just play in handheld mode. The one thing, I don't know if Madden is on Steam, but if it is, that is one of the games I will play. Because whenever I'm watching a football game, I want to be playing a football game.
Well, you've got like 3 weeks to play some Madden, and then you'll have to wait.
The thing that
like
sucks
August.
about getting the Steam Deck is I'm gonna have to buy these games again. Like I'm gonna have to buy Elden Ring again. I'm gonna have to buy Madden again.
Yeah, this just sounds like a you problem, bro.
But no, I do think I will use the Steam Deck more. I mean, I did use the PlayStation Portal for to beat Spider-Man, like 20 hours. There's not really a game on PlayStation right now that I would use it for. Maybe Last of Us Part 2, because that just came out, and I never got through that game. I feel like I could use it for that, but maybe Ratchet and Clank. The problem with the Portal is there's latency issues. Like it's based on Wi-Fi.
Right. Yeah.
So, and this is definitely a me problem, but the chair that's like right next to me, that's where I watch football and play a game. That section does not get good Wi-Fi. Even though my PlayStation is literally 10 feet away, it does not connect. Like it has terrible connection on this Portal.
Huh.
Yeah.
Does it have to be like in front? Like
No,
the
it's
portal
based on
and
the Wi-Fi. It's not based on how close it is to your PlayStation.
I know,
The Wi-Fi over there sucks. So it's not picking up a good signal, and it runs horribly.
The more I think about it, you probably have beat more games in handheld, huh? Like in the past year, the ones that you did beat, those were all in handheld.
Like what? Oh, I played a lot of. I think I played a lot of Pikmin handheld. Uh,
Yeah.
Tears of
Let's
the
just get it out of the
Kingdom.
way. Vampire Survivor.
Yeah, Vampire Survivors. I played that a lot. Vampire Survivors, Brotato, like those. What crawler call them? Garlic like or something.
Oh, that's funny. I don't know.
Yeah, I think those types of games. And there is a game that is only on Steam. It's called Death Must Die, and it is one of those Vampire Survivors like.
Hmm.
So I'll definitely be checking that out on the Steam Deck. But yeah, I mean, I like those smaller experiences. I play a lot of indie games. I put a lot of Cobalt Core in handheld.
Hmm.
Indie games, I feel like have to be in handheld. Playing them on a TV just does not seem right.
Uh, I mean, like they can be on a TV. What do you mean?
No, they just don't feel like console games. They feel like they're made for handheld.
Maybe, but like maybe that developer is wanting to like
I don't
have their
care. I don't
game
care what
on a
they
console.
want. I don't care what they want. I'm just saying how it feels.
Okay.
Like I don't buy indie
It's,
games.
it's nippy.
I don't buy indie games on Xbox or PlayStation because I don't want to play them on a monitor. I buy them on Switch because I can play them handheld.
Uh-huh.
Same with like third party games. Like I will definitely buy a third party game on Switch over Xbox and PlayStation because I can play in a handheld. Like Prince of Persia, I'm sure it's better on the other consoles, but being able to play in a handheld, that is a huge selling point for me.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's just the option of having both. Like I have been playing Prince of Persia a lot, uh, docked, but then we had to go somewhere today, and I brought it in handheld.
Yeah, that's the glory of the Switch. So
I know.
if they don't do hybrid for the Switch 2, that's a terrible decision.
Yeah, I just don't know how they could get away with that because, one of the reasons that they stopped doing console and handheld exclusives is to free up their schedules and to work on more games or maybe not more games, but to work on the titles that they wanted to release for Switch. We get a game like every month.
Yeah.
And so
I
they're more focused and more streamlined. I don't know, like if they were to give up one or the other, honestly, I think that they would give up the console and they would just stay handheld.
yeah, I think
I
so,
think
but
that's how they have seen the Switch from the beginning, is that it's more of a handheld than it is a console.
I don't think there's any going back. I don't think we're going back. Like I think it's going to be hybrid at least for another console generation. Maybe they'll change something up after the next thing. But we looked at the numbers on the Nintendo Powercast and
Hmm.
their consoles fluctuated a lot, right? They went from
Yeah.
like they had a lot of ups and downs. Like it was 30 million for GameCube, went up to 100 million for Wii, and then dropped down to 13 million. Now we're back up to 132 million. But then when you look at their handhelds, it's much more consistent and
Hmm.
successful.
Yeah.
I don't think anything was under 75 million, which was the 3DS. So I don't think they will get rid of the handheld part of it, at least.
Yeah. I Do you think that a big reason for that is Game Freak, the Pokemon company?
100%. And if we get a Switch 2 that is as powerful as a PS4, Pal World can run on Steam Deck, which is as powerful as a PS4. We better get games that look and run like they should on a PS4.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm not uh too familiar with Pal World. Like obviously I've heard the conversation around it. I haven't really seen too much gameplay. I do think that it is good competition. just for Pokemon to step up their game and really make something great. And like I feel like we keep getting closer and closer to greatness with the Pokemon company. Like they are taking steps to do something that they didn't do before. But the way that they look, the way that they run, it's just not good.
It's really unacceptable. Like
Yeah.
you have the highest grossing entertainment franchise, and
Yeah.
your games look and run like that. It's just not. It's unacceptable.
Hmm.
And I'm not saying they should copy Power World or Power World just kind of I think opened a lot of people's eyes to what Nintendo or what Pokemon fans are looking for. Like a lot of people want a more mature take on Pokemon, and they want a game that looks good and runs well. That's really what I want as a Pokemon fan. Like I don't care if they take or I don't care if they don't have the mechanics from Power World, but I just want them to make a game like they are a multi-billion-dollar company and they have the highest grossing entertainment franchise. That's what I want. And unfortunately, Power World's selling really well. It sold like 5 million copies in three days. There's a lot of controversy about if they stole designs or if they used AI. But I hope Pokemon Company sees that there is an audience for a more mature Pokemon or, a higher quality Pokemon. But unfortunately, I don't think they're going to care. I think they're going to be like, hey, our games sell 20 million copies no matter what, and it's not going to matter.
I mean, I would like to think that they do care and that they want to put out a good product. I understand that it's not the greatest that it could be, but I don't think anybody is like wanting to put out a bad game, a bad movie, a bad show.
I don't blame the devs. It's the overarching company that's pushing out or like forcing them to push these games out.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, I'm sure the devs, they are like, this is not in a good state. Like we can't put this out. But, the Pokemon company is like, well, we have all these shows coming out and they coincide with the game. So you have to put this out no matter what.
Yeah. But if they could look as good as the shows, that would be really nice.
Yeah. And it's not like the Switch doesn't have the capability to look decent. Or run decent. Like Tears of the Kingdom is a beautiful game, or Breath of the Wild is a beautiful game. There's a lot of beautiful games on the Switch. Pikmin, Luigi's Mansion, Mario Odyssey, like they're all gorgeous, and it's not like the hardware is holding them back. They just don't know how to make HD games. Their whole team is people that know how to make mobile games, like handheld.
Mm-hmm.
And they're struggling with that transition, and hopefully on the next system. And I'm saying I like handheld. I like handheld, playing in handheld, but I also would love to see a really powerful console from Nintendo to see what they do.
Yeah. You got me thinking though, like, are people more used to handhelds today or prefer handhelds? Because I think you're right. I think when it does come down to it, people like traveling with their gaming system. Do you think that is because of mobile?
I don't think people travel with their gaming system, or they play when they travel. I think most of the handheld Switch gaming is done at home in different rooms of the house, because that's how I play it. Like, how often do you travel? You don't travel that much.
Not that much, no.
I mean, it is nice. Like, I just went on a trip. I took it with me on the plane, and I don't think I played it very much on the way there. I played it on the way back, but not on the way there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, probably actually less people, take it when they travel because they have phones. They go just play games on their phone.
Yeah.
With the iPhone 15, you can play Resident Evil 4.
Yeah. Well, but that would be considered handheld gaming, is it not? Even if it is mobile, like mobile games are still games.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think companies are devaluing how popular or handheld gaming is. When I'm surprised the Portal, what PlayStation put out, like, why put that out? Why not put out another Vita, like a Vita 2 or something?
Yeah.
But their resources are probably spread so thin that they can't handle developing for both PS5 and a handheld.
Yeah. Do you think Xbox will have their own kind of hybrid model? I mean, according to the leaks that we saw, that was planned. Now, maybe like they're changing plans and they're changing direction.
Nah,
But do you think that it will happen?
Xbox. I think will try to. Xbox is trying to get into the mobile market or the handheld market with cloud gaming, and that's what they're gonna push. They're not gonna make a dedicated system. They're probably the first ones that are gonna get away from dedicated consoles. Like we probably have like one or two more Xboxes left, and then they'll go away from unless like the Xbox Series X2 sells 200 million units, which I doubt. But they're already trying to get their games and software onto other platforms that are not Xbox.
Yeah. I'm trying to think back to like what it was like for me to play a handheld versus a console for the first time. And I think there is something really magical about bringing your game with you. Like when you were a kid and you were traveling in the car, you wanted, and there weren't smartphones, you wanted to bring your Game Boy with you. And it's crazy that like you didn't have to wait to get home to continue playing that game. You could just play it whenever you wanted. And I know that that sounds dumb, like that is what a handheld is, but there's something really magical about that versus waiting until school is over because you're just itching to play the new Mario or the Zelda game.
You were playing your games in school?
No. What I'm saying is like you had to wait until after school. I mean, I guess you could bring your Game Boy to school, but did you ever do that like during recess or anything?
Yeah, I remember bringing like a DS to school because I think I was playing like Metroid Prime Hunters or something.
Nice.
It was I think it was the demo that they had with the console.
Yeah.
Was that ever a full release?
I don't think so. Was it? Let's find out because I'm curious.
But I do think handheld gaming has changed so much because it does kind of blur the lines of the games that you could play on your console. You could essentially play on a handheld now. Like being able to play Resident Evil 4 Remake on your phone and not just it being dedicated to your Xbox or PlayStation. I think that opens up a lot of opportunities and definitely blurs the line of console and handheld gaming.
Yeah.
I don't think
Metroid Prime Hunters came out March 20th, 2006.
Okay, so it was a full... I think you got a demo when you bought the DS.
You did. Yeah, I remember that.
Everybody buy Metroid Dread. That's a great handheld game.
Yeah, it is.
2D side scrollers. 2D games, like I think they're perfect for handheld. It's when you get into the 3D especially like I can't play Splatoon in handheld mode.
I was going to mention Splatoon, but I talk about it so much that I mean playing gyro with the Switch is no thank you.
And even not even
I
just
know
that.
Some people do.
Yeah, not even just that, but like the sticks, they're too small.
Yeah.
Like the Joy-Con are not good for that
Yeah.
at all. But I can't play Smash in handheld mode. I can't. A lot of the competitive, like the stuff where you play online and competitively, that's a no-go for handheld. Like I can't imagine playing Call of Duty in handheld.
Isn't that Power World?
What?
Like, isn't that online?
Or yeah, you don't. I mean, you can play by yourself. It's like a survival game.
Oh, okay.
It's like Ark. I don't know if you ever played Ark.
Yeah.
It's like Ark. It's like Ark with Pokemon. That's it. It doesn't really play like Pokemon. It plays more like Ark and Breath of the Wild and Animal Crossing. With Pokemon sprinkled in. But like stuff like that, where you could just kind of turn your mind off. You don't really have to be that invested in the game. Those are perfect for handheld. That's why I love Vampire Survivors in handheld. Like, can you imagine playing Vampire Survivors? Maybe I'm going to try this. Playing Vampire Survivors on a 65-inch TV. Like, why would you do that?
I probably would, if I'm being honest.
Honestly, that's probably a bad idea. There's a lot of flashing lights.
Yeah. Could it, like, burn your screen?
Oh, I don't know. I just mean, like, photosensitivity. Like, there's just a lot. Yeah. There's a lot going on. There's actually a warning, I think, about photosensitivity. But no, indie games, I don't play indie games. Like, I will never play indie games on a monitor if I didn't have to. Or TV.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, like, I've played Celeste, I've played Hollow Knight. Night in the Woods, I actually played in handheld, but I think that's just because I wasn't invested enough to put it up on the screen, I guess. I know that's like everybody loves that game, or there's a lot of people that like that game.
Before 3 people played that game.
No, dude, there's a big fan base for Night in the Woods. That's why it's getting a sequel.
Was it called Day in the Woods?
I don't know what it's called. That was a dumb joke, but yeah.
All right, so anyway. I don't think Nintendo will ever go away from handhelds because of Pokemon. Mm-hmm. and because of the Japanese market. Like there's handheld gaming is huge over in Japan.
Yeah.
That's why Monster Hunter does so well. That's why Pokemon does so well, because they're playing in a handheld. They're not playing in their homes.
Yeah. And it makes sense too, because when you think about like how many Switches they've made for Pokemon, they've made a special edition Monster Hunter Switch. That's because they can take it on the go with them.
Yeah, and those games are like Pokemon is perfect. That's why like Pal World I think is going to be perfect, because Pokemon's perfect for handheld. And maybe that's just because we're so used to Pokemon in handheld.
Yeah, probably.
You know, pre-Switch era, you never played it on console. Well, you never played a mainline one on console. You would have the spin-offs. But now that we have the mainline ones on Nintendo Switch, Scarlet and Violet I think actually runs better in handheld mode. Which is sad. I mean, it runs awful both ways, but
I think my favorite like Pokemon so far, like just because we're talking handheld and console, like the best one that has worked for me being on console is Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. Even though that's just Pokemon Red and Blue, it was nice. Like it looked good. I think it ran well. It was nice to have like your partner Pokemon with you. And then Arceus was a good step in the right direction.
That's an ugly game.
It doesn't look good, I agree, but like I think it was pretty fun. And Scarlet and Violet is fun too. It's just like they just need to look better.
It's not just I don't care about graphics really. It's really about performance. Those games run terribly.
Mm-hmm.
It actually hurts to play them because the frame drops so much. And they just need to fix that. They need to. It has to run better. It has to.
Yeah.
I remember. I don't know if you remember the marketing for the PlayStation Vita.
I don't.
So I actually have one.
You have a Vita?
I have a Vita.
So what was the marketing for it? What did they say?
There's my little Vita. So it was like, prepare for console gaming on the go. Like we were finally in that era where handhelds and consoles were really close to each other. I think the PlayStation Vita has the power of like a PlayStation 3 in it, and it came out when the PS4 came out, so it was pretty close, and it would do remote play with the PlayStation 4. So it was the closest, like it was pretty close to console gaming. And that got me like really excited. Like, oh, I can't wait. We're moving forward. The next handhelds are going to be, they're just going to be as powerful as the consoles that we have.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're getting closer. We're I don't know if they'll ever line up, but we're definitely getting closer.
Just because I don't know why did like the Vita and the PSP not do very well?
Well, the PSP did really well.
It did?
Yeah, PSP sold like 100 million units.
Okay, so then what happened with Vita?
That had a lot of issues with proprietary storage. So you know how the Switch has an SD card, you could put an SD card in it. Well, PlayStation has a proprietary storage, and it was like, I forget, it was an astronomical amount. It was like $200 for like 30 gigs. It was ridiculously expensive. So that turned a lot of people off. There was like, you could get one with like 5G built in. It was just, I don't know, it just didn't land right, I don't think, after the PSP. It was kind of cool. There was times where you would buy a game. One of them is PlayStation All-Stars Brawl. You know, the Smash clone?
Yeah.
You would buy it on PlayStation 3 or 4, and then you would get a copy of Vita, like for free. The Vita copy. Oh,
interesting.
Yeah. So that was really cool. I wish they would have, I don't think there were that many that were playable on both, but that was a nice feature that you didn't have to spend extra money to get both of them if you had both consoles.
Do you remember what the marketing for the DS was?
I do not.
Touching feels good.
Oh, gee.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, the DS was largely successful. It's the second best-selling console ever.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Do you also remember how they revealed the DS?
No.
It was pretty weird, especially with touching feels good, because it was during one of their E3s, and when they let people try the DS that were there, they brought out these women that had a belt, I guess, and like a DS that was like sticking out from the belt, and then people could just like play the DS while she's just standing there.
now I know like, why. It's sold 150 million copies.
That's why.
So I'm gonna be labeled a PlayStation hater, but those PS2 numbers are inflated because a lot of those people bought it for the DVD player.
Oh, absolutely.
So the DS is number one. Switch should be number one. But all right, so you say you prefer console gaming, but you have a Switch. Like, it's not like you have a PlayStation 5 and an Xbox Series X.
You're right.
And the experience from docked to handheld are essentially the same. Why don't you have another console?
I don't know. Like, I'm just being completely honest with you. I don't know. It's not a console war thing. It's not that, like,
It's always a console war thing.
no, it's not. Like, I don't care if it Sony or Microsoft or Nintendo. Like, everybody's gaming, and I think that's awesome. I do feel like sometimes I'm out of the loop because I'm not playing these games. But like I've said before, I do think that it helps with having a backlog or not having a backlog because I just focus on one system and like the major titles that come out that year, I just focus on that. I'm not focused on like, oh, this game came out this week and now I got to play this game for this week. And, like the conversation moves so quickly. But to be honest with you, I think it's just the way I grew up. Like, I wasn't allowed to have a PlayStation, and then I wasn't allowed to have an Xbox. If I wanted to play those games, I had to go to a friend's house and experience them for the first time. So even though like I'm an adult and I have adult money and I can buy those consoles if I wanted to, there's something about it that's just like I don't feel like I'm missing out. And that's just because I've never had that experience other than going to a friend's house. Like I haven't actually like sat down to play. My dad had an Xbox and he played like Red Dead and LA Noire and Call of Duty and like all of those, but like I wasn't allowed to play. So that's your answer, I think. I don't know. Like I would love to play Insomniac games. Um I think Xbox Game Pass would be cool to have. I've been waiting for Sea of Thieves, but that's probably coming to Switch.
You can play Sea of Thieves on Steam Deck.
Yeah. I'm not getting a Steam Deck. I think I have like 2 games on Steam.
I actually have I checked my Steam library. I have like 20 games and I don't even know why or how. Mm-hmm. Oh, I will. Okay, here, I'll sell you on it. You could get a Hades startup movie. So every time you start up your Steam Deck, it would be a little Hades movie.
Ooh.
Yeah. But back on topic. So growing up, I only had Nintendo consoles. I only had, I had Super Nintendo. I had skipped the N64 because all the N64 games suck, as we know. And then I got a GameCube, and I adamantly wanted a GameCube over like PlayStation and Xbox. And then I got a Wii, and I didn't get an Xbox. I didn't get an Xbox until Xbox 360, and that was because I wanted to play games like Call of Duty, like Gears of War, like Halo. I wanted to play those games, and that was the only way you could play them, is by getting a different. I mean, Call of Duty was on Wii, but motion controls, no. So I got into the more powerful consoles then, and then I got a PlayStation 4 to play God of War, and I got into like Bloodborne then. So then I needed to play all of the From Software games, which are only on console. They're not on Nintendo consoles. My point is you're missing out.
I know this, but like you've reminded me that even when I was like in high school and I would talk about playing Nintendo games and people were playing Halo or Call of Duty or whatever it was, like, yeah, I felt out of the loop, and part of me felt like I didn't want to play those. Like, if those are the people that were judging me for playing Nintendo, then I didn't want to be like, I wanted to do my own thing. And I think I'm still kind of that way now that I think about it. Like, hipster. I still just... Is that a hipster playing Nintendo?
Yeah. Nintendo players are hipsters.
No, Hannah's even brought it up that, Nintendo has a very cartoony look to most of their games. And it would be kind of nice to play something that is more realistic looking and see how far we've come. Because every time that, I will watch these, like the video game awards, or when E3 was around, we would watch those game reveals. And it's incredible to see where gaming has come. And you're right, I am missing out. So maybe I don't know when I would buy the next console, because money's just tight right now for everyone. And gaming is getting expensive, kind of going back into our last topic, our last conversation. But I don't know. But is it like it's too late? You know what I mean? Because people barely go back into like NSO, for example, to play those games. Like they're like all excited.
But I mean, we've talked about this.
Out.
I understand not going back to the N64 games because they're just atrocious to play.
Okay, nobody brought up N64.
Laying this point in.
I know you are, but
I play some of the Super Nintendo games, like Super Mario World. I go back to. I want to go back to Joe and Mac. I used to play Joe and Mac all the time.
Notice how he didn't say Super Mario Bros. 3. Continue.
I mean, I've played Super Mario Bros. 3 at least 3 times since it's been on NSO.
You didn't say it, though, so.
But yeah, I mean, I go back to play the Nintendo games. I don't go back and play. I don't even know what Harvest Moon or like those random games that they have on there. Now, and I'm hoping that the Nintendo Switch 2 will at least be as powerful as like a PS4 that is rumored to be. That could bring a lot of games, even ones that are newer, onto the system that Nintendo players haven't had exposure to. Like I would assume that if it's that powerful, it will have like Elden Ring on it, and it will have maybe even Cyberpunk or Final Fantasy, like Final Fantasy 7 remake. Like those games are still relevant. It's not like they're 30, 40 years old.
Yeah.
And people still play them. But by the time it comes out in 2026, because Nintendo is Nintendo, like those games won't be relevant anymore.
So what you're telling me is that I'm more of a handheld player than I am a console player because I don't play Nintendo. Is that what you're saying?
I would say like,
or because I only play Nintendo.
I think the Switch counts as handheld, 100%.
Yeah,
and I think Nintendo games in handheld look great.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't think that like I would be having this conversation, because you're right. Like I haven't played that many other games other than Nintendo. And when I think about it, like Nintendo has had a lot of games that do look good in handheld, like what you were saying. But I still prefer to have them up on the screen. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's my way of enjoying what I couldn't.
So all right,
it was like my only option.
Well, I think the Switch is like, that's hard to compare it. You know, you probably prefer playing docked more than handheld mode for Switch. But like, let's say the previous generation.
Okay.
Oh man, that's a bad one too, because the Wii U, like, nobody had a Wii U. I was just thinking, like, if you had a Wii U and a 3DS, did you play 3DS more or did you play Wii U more?
I probably played the 3DS more because there were just more games on it that I liked.
So you're a handheld gamer. There you go. Guaranteed.
That's how you figure it out.
That's the test. Actually, so before the Switch, I think I was more of a console player. Like I didn't play that many games on 3. I got 3DS pretty late. I did play like the main games, but I wasn't playing that every day. I was playing the Wii U every day.
Yeah, but you make it sound like you became a handheld player because of content creation. Like you're playing on your monitor to record gameplay, and you really started getting into that in 2017 when the Switch released. And Like,
it's a chicken or the egg. It's chicken or egg, right? Like, is it because I'm making content on the monitor all day, or is it because I just figured out that I prefer playing in handheld over being docked?
Which one do you think it is?
I think I don't know.
We're learning
I do feel like
tonight.
I do feel like I did burn out on like recording content for recording gameplay and streaming. Like I did that a lot before, like this past year. And I think I did burn out on doing that. And then also like sitting in front of a monitor for work and for your hobby all day. It's just so much. It's just so much. I got to change it up a bit. And you're probably right though, because when I'm sitting here at my desk and like I want to play a game, I'm like, oh, I should probably make a video about this.
Mm-hmm.
But playing in handheld, that kind of eliminates that.
Yeah, because you're not connected to a capture card.
Yeah, I can't really capture that. Yeah, I think you figured it out. I think
interesting.
So I'll be interested. So check back in a few weeks on if I've been playing Steam Deck more than stuff on my monitor.
Yeah, and I'm just curious too, I guess, for the listeners. At the beginning of the show, Johnny asked, what do you like to play, console or handheld? But has that changed over the years? Like, have you learned something about yourself that maybe it's just easier to play games on the go versus actually sitting down to play something, or that's the only time that you can play is by sitting down for just even a couple hours? I don't know. Like, I think it's cool that we have the option, but there has to be one that people enjoy more than the other.
I think before this era, this generation, it was a lot like a console game. You could tell what a console game was versus what a game you would play like on the go or in handheld. Now it's like you could almost play both everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, I know a lot of people would prefer on the 3DS playing Pokemon over something on console.
Yeah.
Or, you know, Animal Crossing, we didn't have that on Wii U. Like
No.
you had mentioned that
we had Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival. So I think that counts.
To me, I think it's dependent on the game, but I have been leaning towards trying to play more in handheld than on console. Like, there's a lot of times where I'm like, oh, I would love to play this game in handheld mode.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I bought a Steam Deck. But we're over an hour.
This was interesting.
Yeah.
As didn't expect it to go in the way that, like, in these different conversations around gaming and getting older and discovering things about ourselves. But I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that was good. It was a good one. I think somebody suggested this one. I forget who it was, but thank you.
Well, thanks to someone. Johnny, where can people find you?
Well, I want to mention, I also put polls up every week on Spotify, and the last one was about if you spent money on microtransactions. Mm-hmm. And everybody who voted said no, and they're all liars. Everybody has spent money on microtransactions once. I can guarantee it.
This should be its own conversation because, sure, I have spent money on microtransactions.
Exactly.
But I don't rely on it. Like you and Crawler and
I don't rely on it.
Josh, you do rely on it.
No, I don't.
I mean, how much do you think? That's a different conversation. We're not going to get into that.
All right. Well, microtransactions might be the next topic.
Ugh.
But yeah, I'm Johnny Bo everywhere. Twitter, maybe Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and the Nintendo Powercast.
You can find me on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, the Discord, and Nintendo Powercast, GZC64, CHEEZYC64.